What's going on, everybody? So, we're going to get into the show in about a minute, but just before we do, as always, I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. And if you have tuned into the show before, you know the deal. You know why we're here. We're here to help athletes level up. We're here to help athletes reach higher level versions of themselves and build the dream careers they have for their sports. Now, the big thing we want to make sure we are thinking about when we are focused on improving in the career in the sport is not just the training that you're doing itself, but also making sure that we're thinking about the lifestyle and everything that we're working on outside of the sport itself in order to see the success we're looking for. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. Today, we are going to be talking about number one key to success in your athletic career. So we're going to be getting going very, very soon here. Just give me one quick second. There we go. And let's get into it. Number one key for success in your athletic career. And we're going to get going into the podcast now in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Elite Development Podcast, the number one show for athletes looking to gain an edge on their opponents and build their dream careers in sport. I'm your host, Kenny Dusseault, and today we are going to be talking about a number one key to success in your athletic career. Now, depending on how you look at it, there can be a lot of different answers to that question. What is the number one key to success in an athletic career? Today, we're going to be talking about what you are able to control, which is how you show up on a day-to-day basis. Because ultimately, whatever else you want to talk about in terms of keys to success, it comes down to this, guys. It comes down to how you show up on a day-to-day basis. So the reason I wanted to bring this one to you guys today is because I see athletes all the time focused on all these things in their lives that they can't control. See athletes focusing on other people getting opportunities that they wanted. I see athletes focusing on, like getting upset that, they got injured or they got sick or they've got stuff happening in work or stuff happening with, their personal life, family things with friends, whatever else it might be. And the problem, guys, is you can't control any of this. If you get sick, guess what? You're sick. Like, focus on getting better. That's it. If you get hurt, guess what? Don't try to just train through it. You've got to address that problem, control how you show up that day, focus on fixing the issue so that you can get better. That's it. That's what you've got to put into your mind first and foremost over everything at all times is how you're showing up on a day-to-day basis. Because all these things that I mentioned, other athletes getting opportunities that you wanted, injuries, illness, things with work, family stuff, other people in your life, you can't control any of this. You can't control how the people around you show up. You can't control how the people around you act towards you. But what you can control is you can control how you show up. You can control the things you do on a day-to-day basis that will lead to ultimately helping you succeed or making you fail in the goals you have in your career. Now, this was a big lesson for me because if you let's go back 6 years in the past before I moved to Calgary. That was one of my biggest issues. And even for a large chunk of the time that I've been in Calgary, that was one of my biggest issues. I liked working hard, but every time an excuse popped up, I let that excuse take me over. Oh, I couldn't get that done. I was just way too busy. Oh, I had a fight with my family. So, I had to take the rest of the day off. Oh, I was sick yesterday, so I couldn't do anything. And like every time there was a reason to not do something, I just jumped on that reason and said, yeah, it's not my fault. I didn't get it done because of this. Or, oh, yeah, it's not my fault, but it's because of this or because of that. And the thing is, guys, if you're trying to succeed at something like I was trying to succeed in coaching, it doesn't fucking matter. Because if I am trying to succeed as a coach and, I have a fight with my parents and that causes me to say I need the rest of the day off, but someone else that's after the same athletes that I'm working with, that I want to work with, doesn't take the day off, guess who gets those athletes? Guess who continues to grow in their career and their business? That guy, not me. Right? And it's the same thing I see with so many of you. Oh, I needed to take the whole last week off because, I had this thing come up. It's like, cool. Well, guess who didn't take the whole last week off? Every one of your future opponents. So if you're taking that time off when something comes up or when you get a little bit stressed out and you're just deciding, oh, yeah, I'm going to drop training for the next 2 weeks because, I'm really busy right now with my job or whatever else it is. But the guy you're going to fight in your next fight says, no, I'm really busy right now, but I'm going to figure out how to train. Guess who wins that next fight? Sure as hell isn't you. If you're the one taking time every time something comes up, you're the one making an excuse every time an excuse comes up, you're the one allowing yourself to take those excuses every time they come up, you don't fucking win. So what you need to do is you need to learn to control what you can control. Sometimes there are going to be fights with your family. Sometimes there are going to be fights with your significant other. Sometimes there are going to be issues that pop up in life, injuries, illness, whatever else. But if you focus on showing up in the best way you can show up on any given day, you're giving yourself the best chance to succeed. That's it. Just like that. You're giving yourself the best chance to succeed. So what I want you guys to think is, when have you allowed external circumstances to cause you to not show up at your best? When have you allowed external circumstances to cause you to not show up at your best? And this can be things like missing training sessions when you really shouldn't. Or this can be things like trying to push through a training session when you're hurt and you really need to be taking care of yourself. These are all examples of not showing up at your best. So now what I want you guys to think is, how can we fix that issue? So for me, when I was allowing, feelings to get in the way of the things I needed to do, I was allowing excuses to get in the way of things I needed to do. The way I fixed that problem for myself, guys, is I started working on my mindset. Every single day, building trust in myself so that I knew I was the type of person that got the shit done that he needed to get done. So the first example of that is I stopped allowing myself to use the word can't. I can't do that today because I'm too busy, turns into either I'm going to find a way to do that today despite the fact that I'm so busy, or I won't be getting to that today because it's not at the top of my priority list. And I know it seems crazy or it seems excessive to just, to reframe something like that instead of just being like, yeah, I can't do that today. But by reframing it that way, I keep my power. I keep my ability to show up at my best. I'm not letting the fact that I'm busy get in the way of something. I'm saying, this task comes up. Okay, I'm not going to do that today because I have other things that are more important to do today, but I'll get to that tomorrow. I'm not going to say, oh, no, I can't do it, because I could, if I wanted to, I could put one of those other tasks aside and do that thing. So it's the same thing for you guys. If you're busy with work, if you're busy with whatever else, and you say, oh, I can't train today because, I'm busy today, so I can't train. Well, I'm going to train tomorrow instead of today because I've got all of these things going on today, so I'm going to be able to get it in more effectively tomorrow. Just by making that little reframe, you're showing up at your best because you're making the decision. You're not allowing an external factor to make the decision for you. Get what I'm saying? So I'm going to dig into a little bit of that mindset routine that really helped me, and the one that I'm doing currently that really helps me as well. So again, like I said, number one was never allowing myself to use the word can't. Everything that happens in my life is on me, whether it's good, whether it's bad, anything. It's always on me. And that's what I need you guys to adapt in your own lives as well. Number two is I started doing a morning routine that involves setting my intentions for the day, writing down 3 things I'm grateful for, writing down 3 to 4 affirmations, and then a meditation every morning as well. So the first thing I do in that morning routine is I meditate. I take 10 to 15 minutes every morning, focus in on my breath. Sometimes I'll follow along with a video, sometimes I won't, but it just calms my mind down. When I wake up and I'm like, okay, I have, 400 things I have to do today, I start with that meditation, and it just reminds me, okay, you can do all these things today. You're good. You don't need to stress about it. And then from there, I go into a motivational video. And this is usually 5 minutes, but it's just a little bit of, again, a reminder of the fact that elite people work the way elite people work. If I want to be a high level coach, like I say I do, then I need to operate as a high level human being. So that meditation, that motivational video, and then right from there, I go into reading out my vision. And my vision is written up right above my desk. It's sitting right over there in my room. Nobody on the video can see it, but thought I'd point to it anyway for some reason. And I read out that vision. So that is my vision for my career over the next 3 years. Everything that I want to accomplish, the number of athletes I want to be working with, the type of work I want to be doing, the type of impact that I want to be having, everything. And I read that over, guys, because if I'm clear every single morning on the type of impact that I want to have during my career, then that allows me to start every single day focused on showing up as the type of person who's going to be able to accomplish those goals. Showing up as the type of person who is going to be able to make the steps that I need to make in my life to be able to accomplish the things that I want to have by the time 2025 comes around. So the next thing I do after I go through my vision for my career is I set my intentions for the day. So my intentions for the day, usually it's 3 things, and it's very simple, and it allows me to sit and think about what I have going on that day. So if I have a team meeting with my coaches, my first intention is going to be over deliver on my team meeting, as an example. So then I know when that team meeting comes around, my goal is to make that the best fucking meeting our team has ever had, and in turn deliver the most value to my coaches that I can possibly deliver. And in turn from there, making sure that my coaches are set up for success, which in turn goes through with my vision, which is to be the #1 company for athlete development on the market. Now, other intentions for the day, depending on what I have on that day, if it's coaching sessions, if it's, other company meetings, things like that, whatever else it might be, my intentions for the day are always about how I want to show up for those things. Becoming the operator that runs a worldwide business. I want my company to be worldwide one day. And so that is usually one of my intentions for the day. Be the operator now that operates the business that runs around the world. Because if I can show up as the person I want to be today, I'm going to put myself closer to actually becoming that person. Now, the next thing I do is write down things that I'm grateful for. And this ranges from, very, very simple things of, like, I'm grateful to have a beautiful girlfriend who loves me, to, much more in-depth things of I'm grateful to be running a business that I built myself that is going to allow me to create financial freedom for myself and my family. Whatever else it might be, but just really reminding myself that, like, life is fucking good. Like, if you're an athlete right now, and you're not where you want to be yet in your career, you're not making millions of dollars in your sport, you're not a household name, whatever it is, remind yourself, life is fucking good. You have the chance to show up every day and pursue a career you love every single day. So it's like, even if you're not where you want to be yet, there are people across the world that don't have clean water, and you're waking up complaining that, I'm not making millions of dollars competing in my sport yet. Like, writing down those gratitudes, guys, just gives me that perspective on life to understand that it's like, when there's a fire in my business, life is still really fucking good. When there's something that goes wrong that, I'm not happy about, instead of sitting and stressing about that, sitting down and writing down 3 things I'm grateful for every morning reminds me that I woke up in a warm bed this morning with a fucking roof over my head. I have the opportunity to wake up every day and do something that I love and make money at it. Like, how fucking cool is that? Compared to, there are people that are born across the world that don't have clean water. Like, life is fucking good. And that's just a great way to start your day, is to remind yourself of that. Then the next thing that I go into is affirmations. And this is something that I do because for a long time, I struggled a lot with self-doubt. I was working super, super hard towards these goals that I have, and I still am. But the difference was, before, I would be working super hard towards these goals that I have, and in my head, I was just always not seeing myself actually accomplishing them. Not seeing myself spending my days training professional athletes. Not seeing myself, being known as someone who changes the industry in the world of strength and conditioning. Not seeing myself as being able to create a good, financially free life for myself and my future family. And so these affirmations every day, honestly, that was one of the reasons I was able to buy my car when I was. Because every single morning, one of my affirmations was, I am going to own an Audi by the time I'm 30. And an Audi is a car that I've always wanted. And so probably 6 months ago now, I saw an ad for an Audi for sale. and I went to test drive it. And I remember in my head being like, no, this isn't smart. I should leave. I should, just like come back and get it another time. And then I stopped and I was like, I'm going to own this by the time I'm 30. I'm 30 in, 3 to 4 months at that point. Why the hell am I not just buying it now? And then I bought it that day and I came home and I've been driving it ever since. And it's fucking awesome. So by setting those affirmations every day, having those goals that you have for yourself, and whether it's something like that, like a certain car that you want to buy, or for athletes out there, it can be, I am a future UFC champion. I am a future UFC fighter. And then every single day you're starting your day thinking, I am destined for the UFC. I am destined for the UFC. I am destined for the UFC. And as you set that into your mind more and more and more, you become that person that is worthy of a UFC contract. And guys, you get what you put into the world. If you're putting that into the world every single day, you are going to get it. It is going to happen because you are going to show up as the person who deserves it. So the affirmations were huge. So that, guys, it takes me about 30 to 45 minutes every morning. And just to go back from that again, I start off with meditation, 10 to 15 minutes. Then I go into reading through my company vision, understanding what it is I'm actually working for every single day over the next 3 years. Then I set my intentions for the day. I write down 3 things I'm grateful for, and then I go into my affirmations. And just by starting that off, that allows me to show up every single day at my best, which ultimately, guys, is the number one thing that we can control in our lives. If you were trying to build a career in your sport and you're not where you want to be yet, maybe you're coming off a loss that you were really hoping you'd win, by setting yourself up every single day to show up at your best, you're putting yourself in a position that you are going to more likely believe in your future success, and in turn, more likely achieve your future success. So I hope that was valuable. I hope you guys learned something from that. If you did, I would love to know what it is. Drop me a message on any of my social media channels to tell me what it was you took away and what you can apply to your own lives as well. Now, my number one ask, guys, as always, as we wrap up the show, is that you share this show with a friend, share this show with a teammate, share this show with someone who is going to benefit from this message. We are a smaller show and we get around through word of mouth. We get around through you telling someone that you've gotten value from this show and you telling someone that they can benefit from it too. So that is it for me. That is all. I hope you guys got some good value from this. And as always, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and we'll talk again very, very soon.